Hello and welcome to Bump Love. Data from the 2016 Uganda Household Survey indicates that 51% of women aged between 15 and 50 years old have experienced physical violence in their lifetime. And while the physical scars might be seen, victims of domestic violence exhibit signs of untold emotional and psychological trauma. And here to unfold that puzzle and help us work through that vice and how we can support those who endure it is Mrs Beatrice Balitenda Kakembo. She is a counselor with Inspiration Center for Counseling and Parenting Services. She's a mother to 5 grown-up women now, no longer children, grown-up women. Welcome to the show, Mrs Kakembo.
Thank you, Pamela.
Anti-violence. It does not matter the gender or the situation or the circumstance unless it's for defense.
You hate violence.
I hate violence. I can't even understand it. So even when somebody tries to make me understand, I don't know if I want to, but I think we need to have these kinds of conversations.
Okay.
And I just want to ask you, what would be the reason for violence in our homes? Like, why does this typically happen? Yes.
Why do we have violence in our homes?
Yeah.
Inflicted on women specifically.
Yes.
Maybe it starts from the way we get married or when we partner.
Okay.
There's this cultural approach to marriage where they ask for a bride price.
Oh.
Bride price is like you put a sugar price, furniture price, anything price. Someone gets it in his head that I have bought, I've paid for something. I've paid for something. And he, if not well guided, he will think that it is okay to do anything he wants with whatever he bought or whatever he paid for. And we've seen situations where the man says, if you are leaving me, let me go for my bride price,
Yes.
my dowry.
Yes.
And to me, that is really degrading. Maybe the culture also sort of guides us into subjecting ourselves to abuse.
Yeah.
And maybe we could start from there.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there are red flags for people who are going to be abusers.
Yes.
Yeah.
And usually we don't see the red flags because it is not written on the forehead of the man. They are all very nice and, you know, they want to marry you, you are happy, you are getting married. Not only that, there's pressure from your homes, from friends, from family, especially when you go to school, they say you are done with school. Now what next? You've done with school and you say, oh, I haven't got a job. You get a job. They say, oh, you have a job? Now you've finished school, you have a job. What next? When are you getting married? And sometimes the girls say, to what? You know, but the parents they are pestering you, and there's even peer pressure.
Yeah.
Your friends are all getting married.
Yes.
You see them walking down the aisle. You are tired of being the matron to all your friends waiting. The maid. You've got so many dresses in your wardrobe. Maid to this friend, maid to this friend, maid to this friend. You want it to be your turn. So when parents pressurize you, you bend. Even when you don't have anyone, you say, now who's going to pass my way next? Probably that will be the one. But when we do advise people who are getting married to sort of go from premarital counseling.
Yes.
During our sessions in premarital counseling, we touch many sectors that you may not be able to touch,
Okay.
especially when there's love.
Okay.
Love,
Yes.
they say, is blind. It may
Yes.
blind you. You may not think about the day he shouted at you. You take it simple. The day he let you down, you are supposed to meet at Java's at 4. He comes at 5, and you don't take it seriously. The day he says, I don't like the looks of your sister, you take it simple. As long as you're not getting married to my sister, it is me I'm marrying, so it's okay if you don't like my sister. You know, he can talk you down. You listen, let me talk. You don't realize that he's preventing you from, he's starting to control you, because abuse is all about control.
Control.
Someone wants to control you. He wants you to breathe after he has breathed. Not before that, not at the same time, no. I breathe, then you breathe after me. Or, he wants to take control of every space around you. He wants to control your social network. He wants to control, he looks through your phone, he checks your mail, he shows up at your workplace without notice. He calls you now and again, where are you, when are you coming home, even if he's not home. If you are home, let me talk to the children. That way he's
sure that you are at home.
So it is all about control. And it is not eaten from a restaurant, that control. He doesn't go, it is not even bought by money, because abuse is not gender sensitive. It doesn't even matter how much education you have. It doesn't even matter whether you are taller or shorter or bigger or smaller.
It doesn't discriminate.
It doesn't matter whether you are the best looking girl or woman. You may still get the abuse.
Yes.
I'd like to ask, for people who have never experienced domestic violence, is it difficult to comprehend why a victim does not remove themselves from these toxic relationships? What happens in the mind of a victim, and why do they keep going back to the abuser?
Because we agreed that abuse is all about control. He controls you so much that you believe that you can't live without him. You start thinking, if I walk away, I'll be the one who will be blamed. Sometimes it is total dependence. People who are very abusive, I've seen cases, they'll say, you don't have to work. I'll pay you exactly what they would have paid you had you worked. Or you just don't want to work and they don't even pay you. I'll provide everything. You are so happy to be provided for. You are contributing to the journey, to whatever started off that they bought you. Now they are using you. You are part of the furniture. You are a fridge. You are a cooker. You are anything. So he says, you don't have to work. He's controlling you. If you want to work, it is okay to work. You can work out the dynamics of your working, plus being his wife. But it makes you believe that it is such that you need to look after him, after everything in the house, and then so I'll do everything. When someone does everything for you, why need you bother? So he's meanwhile cornering you, putting you in a corner in his palms, and he can squeeze as and when he wishes. He can squeeze as and when he wishes, because after all, without him, you can't breathe. So because it is about control, they push you in that corner of dependence. You depend on them entirely. And sometimes there's also societal judgment. When you go into a marriage and it doesn't work, society looks at you differently. They judge you as failure. They never judge the man as the failing partner. They judge you. They judge you. You go back to your mother. Your mother tells you, you know what, Beatrice, even me, I went through this, and you see, I'm still here. Aren't you happy that I'm with your father? Is it about your presence with my father? Are you happy? Don't ask me about happiness, but I'm here. It is a good image to the society. It is a good image to our children. Some women stay in abusive relationships because of children. They make a decision that when the child grows, the last child grows, I will go. But at what stage are you talking about the last child? The last child is months. And growing means 18 years. Yes, you are sacrificing yourself for the next 17 years because you are waiting for the children to grow.
I'm sorry, is that wrong?
Is that wrong?
To sacrifice you while they're beating you?
As long as you're not getting any harm to yourself. You are also entitled to happiness. You are entitled to being a mother, a wife.
Yes.
And happy. Not, a balance between the three. It isn't about being a mother and wife and never happy. I wonder if if you are unhappy for 18 years of my life or 25 in Uganda, we don't grow until much later than 18. Am I going to pay you back as a child? Oh, mommy, you suffered so much. You didn't go places. You didn't have a fantastic time because of me. So I'm paying you back. Can I ever pay you back? I can't. But it is an informed choice. When you come for counseling, we discuss all the dynamics of the realities surrounding you, and you make an informed choice.
True.
It is also okay to choose to stay.
Yeah, because the 18 years cannot be 18 years of 24 hours of unhappiness. You understand?
You can also choose that. It is a choice.
Because to be honest, I know sometimes or many times people whether look down at people who stay. But when you look at the options, happiness, I think, is a very relevant. I mean, it will vary from person to person.
Yeah, that is true.
Someone could say, I have spent 18 years of unhappiness, which just doesn't make sense in any book. At least they must have been.
Sorry, Angie. I'm so sorry, Angie. Just hold up for me. Hold up for me, guys. We need to make our health and well-being important. You say that I'm going to stay in Kuguma for 18 years. They are meleeing you every day, right? They are bringing a knife to your throat every day. You're risking your life. Yeah, a man is beating you while you're pregnant. You're married. Your child is watching you, Angie, watching you being beaten every day.
I'm just saying that if we are saying,
let me finish, Angie. Your child is watching someone bring a knife to your throat. You're going to hospital every day. You're looking for an explanation as to why. An excuse. What are you telling your children? To tell yourself that I'm going to stay in this environment for my children. Are you really staying for your children? Or is it that you've been put in this corner that she's just talked about, being told that you're nothing, I own you, you ain't going nowhere, blah, 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 and you're finished? Because, Angie, to be honest, I think because I've lived in utmost poverty, I kind of don't fear starting afresh. I really don't fear. I don't fear being on the street. Even if you tell me I'm not going to give you any money, because that's what makes them stay. They feel like they can't move on after him.
And also, like she has said,
I'm
he
sorry.
puts you in a corner.
He controls you like that. I'm just saying that if we're giving this narrative, we should make it two-sided as well. There are those who will leave. Do you understand me? And we all know those who leave are the 20%. I'm just making up these figures.
That's true.
You understand?
You're right.
So it's important for us to talk about those who are leaving, those who are going to leave or get the courage to leave. But it's also important to discuss those who are unable to leave for whatever reason.
No, but
whether it's not being able to start afresh.
I think, Angie, the reason we are here is to encourage that woman who needs to leave. There are those who might not need, like the emotional thing is, I was taking you to Dubai, now you're not going to Dubai. I bought you a Louis Vuitton bag. But I would like to speak to the mom right now whose life is in danger and thinks that the only option she has is to stay. I think this show should be able to encourage her to gather the energy, the strength to leave that home. If it's the other one, okay, I hear you. The other ones who maybe they can manage, but there's some things that can't be managed.
But if it's violence, it's for your life, and that will lead to my next question. Are there particular signs we should look out for these potential abusers, like before we even get into the relationship?
A likelihood of abuse and minimum abuse or no abuse.
You do this during the counseling?
We do that during the counseling.
Okay.
We
So
recommend.
we can bring our boyfriend who's saying he wants to marry us.
Yes.
Check him out.
Yes.
So what's involved in this?
Find him immediately.
So we'll go through many psychological, sessions, and then we put you aside and give you results. We call it a laboratory. So we give you either positive results or negative results or intermediary. Both. We sense that he may But with guidance, with further counseling, this could be eliminated or minimized, because no one is perfect. No one is going to come up and look up, swallow everything that, or give you everything that you actually want in the partner. Yeah. Remember, you marry strangers, you find them at parties, at school, on the road, everywhere. Total strangers. In fact, in the culture I belong to, even if he belongs to the mother's muziro or the father's, you don't touch. That means they're telling you go to a total stranger.
They're chasing you from home.
So the total stranger who knows nothing about you. You know nothing about him. How do you expect him to match up to what you expect? Just like that. Just like that. Yes. So we advise that come, we go through sessions as part of your premarital or our pre-relationship. Usually relationships end up in marital. So part of your premarital, when you are preparing your wedding, there's a big budget. Someone offers, I'll give you 3 million, 10 million, and when it comes to counseling, no one wants to.
No one wants to.
Yes. But now that will be your own investment. No one should invest that on your behalf. It should be your investment. Like you invest in your gown, in your cake, and you come and we go through sessions, nice sessions, friendly, and not, you might change your mind. Okay.
After he had proposed to me, we took so we would meet the counselor once a month. Meanwhile, at this point, the church has already given us, clapped for us. You are representative, you are a good couple, very good, you are ready for marriage.
The church does a different job from what we do.
Meanwhile, the real culture, they removed, I watched this in Uganda, so-called things.
Yes.
And I think by the fourth, fifth session, we broke up. I was like, please.
Peace.
And peace out, I'm gone and I'm done. We ain't doing this. Meanwhile, we have a marriage date. People have started meeting us like, so it's like, so we tell people,
it is okay.
It is okay.
Is it easier when you are married and someone leaving you?
But I remember the counselor telling us, when we went back, because she met us now, started to meet us separately. And then I was like, now you see, she was like, it's relax. This is a natural progression. If you're to come back together, you will come back together. Sure. If you're not, you will really separate. And either way, it's okay. So lucky enough for us, we did come back.
I think even if you don't come back, it's lucky enough.
Actually.
Because there is a vice that they are trying to.
I get what you mean.
So either way, lucky enough.
Either way, lucky enough. You're right.
Mrs. Kakembo, you have interacted with victims. Mothers who have been victims. What does domestic violence, what are the impacts of domestic violence on children? I know I'm asking a hard one.
A very good one. This is what
people
need to listen to.
It is terrible. They can't say much. They don't understand what you are doing, hitting at each other, yelling at each other, keeping mom at breakfast when they are used to the jolly mommy. Now this jolly mommy is keeping mom at breakfast, not talking. You are retreat or silence or whatever, silence mode. You're not talking. And the children don't understand it. But children are people, they are human beings. They are just smaller. Whatever we do to them, whatever they're exposed to, they swallow it. It manifests itself at adulthood. Now, you are creating another abuser. You are making another abuser. They will not stop you because they can't. But they are looking at you. They are not getting exactly what they are supposed to get as children. You are role models to them. And they are looking at their gods on earth, fighting or not talking or not relating. We try our best most times by keeping quiet or fighting in the bedroom, and then you come out smiling.
But
is it sustainable? Is it sustainable? They do. Sometimes we are abused when you are pregnant, when you are breastfeeding. You are breastfeeding the child with anger. you are giving the temperaments that we go through as mothers. They are passed on to the children when they are in the womb, and here we are, you know, nobody knows about it. But meanwhile, you are going to give birth to a new baby. You go to when the baby comes out in hospital. Usually they are sad babies.
Yeah.
Or they cry a lot.
Yeah.
They are sad babies.
Yeah. They do.
Yeah, sad babies. And you say, people want to look at the baby, oh, baby, but the baby is they're not happy.
They cry a
Yeah.
lot. They're just not
Yeah.
good.
Because
So,
they have emotions too, only that they cannot externalize them
They
at
can't
that particular
express them, yeah.
moment in their lives.
you're
But
right.
as they grow into that reserved person, or aggressive person, or that person who doesn't listen, or that person who is very timid. We see it with children. Daddy comes back and daddy is a tyrant. Everyone rushes and closes the door and he puts everything right. They even see mommy also joining the crew. The mommy and the children, they're all running around, put everything right because daddy is coming. Is daddy, what is daddy? Daddy is supposed to be a friend.
Dictator.
Daddy is an animal. So
Wild animal.
that is already going into their children.
Yeah.
You see them being chased from schools, or sometimes they find school a better place. They don't want to come home. They prefer to stay at school. They will say, I'm going to see my friends all the time. When holiday time comes, they're not looking forward to coming home.
Yeah.
Like many other children, they would rather they went to a friend's home or to stay in school, even prefer to stay in school. So you see your child ever wanting, I want to go and see my friend, what's wrong with our home?
Yeah.
Why don't the friends come over?
Yeah.
Mrs Kakembo, now on that one, especially when you bring up the non-discrimination, I was having a conversation with Najemba here about, and I'm going to try to package it so that we can understand it.
She's so complicated.
Is it? No, I feel like the view, I psychoanalyze people. I analyze things for a living. I'm paid to analyze, so I do it to people as well. I have found that the people I have seen who have suffered this kind of abuse are a certain kind of women.
Yes.
I have also seen that, so if I'm speaking for myself, I'm one of the most confrontational and provoking women, even in the relationship. I can't include you until you're like, but there is no man who has ever raised a finger at me, not a single person in my whole lifetime. And actually I was telling Mr. Mulondo, gezako kunkwatako munseno nze gwentya. Then you see that a kind of girl who is abused, they seem to have some kind of trait that I feel so that how I'm trying to package it is it this, I can't say it, it's just a thing, that an air around them, or maybe some kind of submissiveness or what it is, of all the time giving excuses for other people's behavior, or some kind of self-worth that I don't feel they have. Their confidence is already kind of shattered on the law. It's already eroded. So I feel like, is that true? Because do those men who like control see that trait and come for it? Because finger, they don't beat us. You have never beaten you?
Me, let me tell you, I've told you guys before. I told you something.
I am not. Have I come to you to complain that I'm being abused? Who are you?
I'm just an outsider.
Who are you?
You
mind your own business with
But there are those that do come. But there are those that do come. How can you support?
Now, for that one,
But no, let's leave them because
these
they are
ones,
different.
Yeah.
What about
No.
those ones?
The person who comes, do you have the skills to counsel them? You don't have the skills to counsel them, refer them to professionals.
Okay.
But at least they've made the first move to come out and approach you. Send them over for professional counseling. If you can do the counseling, that's okay. If you can't, then send them to the professional counselor.
Mrs. Kakembo, can I ask on that counseling bit? I remember long time ago when we were having,
Long time ago. How old are you?
So
Talking
when
of long time ago,
She's
when I'm
telling you,
here.
she's talking. Actually, she's used to talking to us when we are here. Now we have Mukulu.
yeah, so you know, when you're having those issues, by then we didn't have very. I mean, and I think the counselors were there, but we just didn't really know about them. And you know how Africans are, we keep our problems to ourselves. Later on, maybe 20 years, 15 years ago, I started noticing a lot of counselors were coming up. But one problem most people used to complain about is that they don't keep their secret. So you tell a counselor about something and then you become the for example for the next couple. You see, I helped these ones. Oh, these ones came with this and this problem. Angie.
The person who talks about whatever goes on behind the doors
Yes.
in a session
Yes.
is not a counselor. They're a friend who is willing to help. Counselors never, if you hear the story, your story on the street,
Yes.
and please tell me I will quit counseling.
No, I'm not saying you in
No.
particular, but,
That's how it is supposed to be.
That's how it's
It is
Okay.
total confidentiality. We do not, professionally, ethically, we do not let out other people's secrets
Yes.
without their express permission. They need to allow us, because some cases may need to involve maybe a mother, maybe a sister, maybe a friend, maybe an auntie, someone to help you get along with a new normal
Yes.
that you are getting. So I ask you for permission, and whom are you comfortable with to share this information, so that you can move with that person, because I won't move with you.
True.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Kakembo. At least for me, you've helped me dissect many things. That
Why they don't beat you?
Yeah, at least now I'm sure why they don't beat me.
You are normal.
I'm okay. But I'm thank you so much for sharing with us, especially the other side, in the mind of both the perpetrator and the mind of the victim. The first step towards healing from physical violence or from domestic violence is acceptance. The next step is to seek professional help. I, as your friend, as your mother, as your sister, I am not equipped with a skill set to help you heal. So I would advise you, we on Bampla would advise you, do you have a friend who is going through domestic violence? Has anybody come to you? Do you feel that you're going through hardships in your home and you need to speak to somebody? There's so many counseling services available. Don't be afraid. We have Mrs. Kakembo at Inspiration Center, and they're always welcome to have you. It starts with you. Mental health starts with you. And if you have any comments about physical violence, domestic violence, are you a victim? Are you a survivor? Please share with us in our comments below. Until next time, with love from Bampla.